She believes that courage is not a gift, that it's a choice. But courage is not a gift, it's a choice, it's a decision you make daily. She's also a former Miss Dev SA. Ladies, please help me welcome, give a round of applause, Vicki Fourie.
Okay, it's wonderful to be here this morning. I think before we start, I just want us to give Fourie a hand. Yeah. You are so amazing. Thank you for everything that you've done for this morning. I just want to honor you. You're so beautiful and you are radiant. She is the perfect example of someone who is radiant. There's just something that comes out of her, and it's so beautiful, and you just can't help but love her. So thank you so much. It's an honor to be here this morning. Thank you. Okay, so my topic is how to be radiant, but I am also going to talk about lies. The lies that we believe about ourselves. And then also, how do you replace the lies with the truth? So it's a bit of a heavy topic, but it's something that God revealed to me, and I'm so excited to share this with you because I believe that my breakthrough is your breakthrough. So whatever I went through, you don't have to go through those things. You can just take whatever I've learned and just apply it to your life. So my breakthrough is your breakthrough. So everything that I'm going to share this morning, I want you to take it for yourself. And I want you to say, but I'm going to do this with my life. And it's just going to bring breakthrough upon breakthrough. And it's just going to go forward in life. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Respond, come on. Are you ready? Yes, okay, good, great. Okay, so I'm going to start with, when I was in high school, this is just a memory that God, He revealed it to me. I actually forgot about it. But then God revealed it to me, and I actually feel that everything that Bianca shared is just confirmation that God really wants to do something this morning. So this is a memory of me in high school. I was a bit of I was an outcast. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was the only deaf girl in the hearing school. So I was very much, I felt alone, I felt rejected, I felt a lot of things. But I had one friend in high school, in primary school, we were like this. We were great friends, but then when we got to high school, I started excelling in a lot of things. I did drama, ballet, I did all kinds of sport, and because I grew up very quickly. So I was able to do a lot of things, and my friend, she was the opposite of me in looks. I'm talking about looks here. So she every day during school break time, we would stand in front of the mirror in the bathroom. I can remember this so clearly, and my friend would stand next to me, and she would actually compare herself to me. She would stand in front of this mirror, and she would look at herself, and she would say, "Oh, Vicki, but you're so beautiful. But look at me. I am so ugly. I don't have nice hair. I don't have a beautiful body. I'm short. I'm fat." Baie dankie. Baie dankie. Dankie, Gerard. That's my brother. Thank you for coming, Gerard. Okay. All right. So my friend would compare herself to me. So she kept breaking herself down by comparing herself to me. And I didn't really know what to say. I just kept thinking in the back of my mind, but she's so intelligent. She was a very, very intelligent girl. She didn't have to study for any test, and she always passed, but I always had to learn every night, and academics didn't come easily for me, but it came easily for her. So she would compare herself in the mirror against me, and she would feel so worthless. And so the reason why I'm sharing this is she did this every single day. She would compare herself to me. And what goes on inside of us is what comes out. So my question to you today is, what is going on inside of you? What are the lies that you tell yourself? Because nobody told her that she was fat. Nobody told her that you're ugly. Nobody told her that you don't have beautiful hair, you're not as tall as Vicki. Nobody said that to her. She said that, she told herself that. And so that's what came out of her. And so then people started treating her like that. So whatever is inside of you comes outside of you, and then that's how people experience you. So those are the lies that she actually told herself. Nobody told her that. So there's a Bible verse, it says, it's in Luke 10, verse 27. I think you all know this verse. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. So this last part, love your neighbor as yourself, is very important. If you don't love yourself, how can you love other people? She didn't love herself, so she wasn't able to love other people. And she actually started bullying me, this girl. In primary school, we were best friends, but in high school, she totally turned against me. And she started targeting me because she knew that I was deaf. She knew that I was very dependent on lip reading. She knew that I felt very awkward when it came to my voice because I sound different. So she started targeting that because she didn't love herself. So it actually came out. That's what she portrayed. So she didn't love me because she couldn't love herself. So this Bible verse is very important because it says, love your neighbor as yourself. So how do you love yourself? How do you see yourself? Because that is what will come out. That is what you will radiate. It's so true. I mean, have you ever met someone who's very depressive and negative and always complaining, and then eventually you also start to complain and you also feel negative, but it's because of what's going on inside of that person, and then she affects everyone around her without even knowing it. So there's another Bible verse in John 8, verse 44. It says, there is no truth in the devil. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So what this means is that Satan, the devil, is the father of lies. So all he has to do is he comes and he whispers something. You just say something very small, like that girl in high school. You could have said to her, just look at Vicki. Look at what she's got that you don't have. So the devil is the father of lies. He's always trying to tell us what we're not. But God always tells us what we are. So she chose to believe the lie that the devil planted inside of her. It was just a small lie, and then she started giving it water, and she would think about it, and then it grew and grew and grew, and then she became this bully. She bullied me in high school. I hated high school. And that's what she radiated outside of her. And so we always have to remember the devil is the father of lies. But God is a God of truth. So my question to you is, what are you believing about yourself? What's going on inside of you? Because that is what you radiate. That's what people experience about you. That's the truth. Do you agree? Stem julle saam? Okay. So, God wants you to be the breakthrough. He wants you to be the breakthrough. He wants you to steward your heart. The most important thing you can do is to be aware of what's going on inside of your heart. What happens behind closed doors when no one's looking. God is not really focused on your circumstances. He's more focused on changing your perspective of your circumstances. So what's going on inside of your heart? Because we're always trying to change everything outside of us. So that girl in high school, she compared herself physically towards me. So she was constantly thinking about the outside. She was never thinking about what was going on inside of her. So God is always interested in what's going on inside of our hearts. It's not really about what's going on outside of our lives. Because God thinks in years. He thinks in generations is always thinking far ahead, but we're always thinking about the now. What can I do now to make my life easier? What can I do now to make people accept me? But God is more interested about the character, about what's going on inside of us, because that is what comes out. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Okay. So, there's a Bible verse in Romans 5, verse 3 to 5. It says, we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character. And character, hope. Hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit. So the reason why I'm reading this is perseverance. It's also like being bold. Perseverance, you have to keep on, you have to keep on, you have to get outside of your comfort zone. You have to be bold, you have to be a little bit stupid sometimes. I mean, I was in high school and I felt so ashamed of my voice. And I wasn't able to speak in front of people. I had such a fear of speaking in front of people. And all the girls knew it, especially the girl who bullied me. So she told everyone, but this girl doesn't know how, she doesn't know what she sounds like. Because I didn't wear hearing aids in high school. So I had no idea what I sounded like. And I had no idea whether I was pronouncing something wrong or if I was speaking too loud or too soft. So it was the one area in my life. The interesting thing is the devil always knows what is our destiny. He always knows what we are supposed to be. So what happens is he targets us in that area of our lives. He'll target us and then he'll do something to make us afraid to step into our destiny. So for me, it was speaking in front of people. I had such a fear of speaking in front of people because all the high school girls would always sit together. And then because I'm good with lip reading, I don't have to hear a voice. I can just lip read. So I can eavesdrop. I can afluister. So all the girls would sit together in a group, and then when I had to do like an oral report, when I had to speak in front of class, I would stand there and then I would be so nervous because I would think, but I don't know how I'm supposed to talk. I don't know if I'm speaking too softly or too loud or if I'm making a fool of myself. And those girls knew it. So what they would do is while I was speaking, they would speak among themselves. And then I would say, did you see what she said? She pronounced that word the wrong way. Or they would say, Vicki, you're speaking too loud. You're speaking too loud. You're making a fool of yourself. Or they'll tell me, you're speaking too soft. You have to speak louder. We can't hear you. So they would do those things on purpose to keep me from my destiny. But it's because of the things that were going on inside of them. So that's what came out. And so in return, I wasn't able to speak in front of people. I had such a high fear. I was so afraid. So every time when I speak, I have to be bold. Because I can hear that voice speaking to me. I can actually hear it. I'm like, oh, now I have to speak English today. I'm Afrikaans, you know. So that's the one way where I have to be really bold. Every time when I'm on the stage, I have to be so bold. I wear hearing aids now, but it's still every day. It's a challenge for me. I have to say to myself, you know what? I'm not going to speak to that voice. I'm not going to listen to the father of lies. I'm not going to listen to the father of lies because I know he's trying to keep me from my destiny. So you have a question to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Because on the other side of being afraid, there could be something waiting for you, and it could be your destiny. It could be what you're actually supposed to do with your life. You just don't know it. Anyway, I'm off topic now. I'm off topic. So the thing is, we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character hope. Hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our heart through the Holy Spirit. A powerful person is someone who has rule over his spirit. So every day when you're living your life, there's voices speaking to you. It could be when you get up in the morning and you're like, but I don't have strength for this time. I just can't do this today. I have to go to work. I hate my job. I know this is not what I'm supposed to do with my life. So immediately you're actually breaking yourself down. So obviously it will come out and then people will actually pick up on it. Because people are not stupid. They're not stupid. So 80% of the success in your life has to do with stewarding the emotions in your life. And it's so true. We think success is a job. We think success is our friends. We think it has to do with the way we look, the way we do our work, who we're married to, who's our boyfriend. We always think success is the outside. But 80% of your life is based on the emotions. It's based on what's going on inside of you. Because that is what comes out. So when we can learn how to steward our emotions, then we will be much more successful. Because I'm standing here today, I could have decided to listen to that voice where it says to me, but you're stupid. What are you thinking? You're deaf. I could have decided to listen to that voice. But instead I chose to step out. But it's something that had to happen inside of me. So when you look in the mirror, so this is just a very, very practical thing. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? What do you see about yourself? And it's not just about the physical, it's about what's inside of you. What do you see about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? Because that actually shows what's going on in your life. And that's what comes out. That is what you radiate. So I'm gonna give you an example. The thing is, we always have voices speaking to us. We're not always aware of it. Sometimes it's subconscious. So I'm gonna give you a practical example of what it looks like to start to be self-conscious about what goes on inside of your mind. Always when I went to the stores, to the shopping mall, I would always buy my clothes, but I always had this voice inside of my head saying to me, is this thing in fashion? Is it funky enough? Does it look good? I mean, we all do that. We all do that. We're always, when we buy something, we're always thinking about, okay, is it going to fit me? Is it nice? But the thing is, I had a different voice in my head. And it's going to sound very stupid, but it was the voice of my sister. I have a beautiful sister. She's younger than me. But for some reason, every time when I bought clothes, I would hear my sister's voice in my head. And I would think, would my sister approve of this? It's very weird. But for some reason, my sister's voice was always there every time I bought something. And so I started becoming self-aware, and I asked myself, but why? Why is my sister's voice inside of my head? She's not even standing next to me. She lives in Cape Town. I live in Johannesburg, so why? I'm already 28 years old. She's 26. Why is her voice influencing me when I buy clothes? It was so weird. I just started to realize, but something's not right. So I asked God. God is always the best place to go to, because He knows us better than we know ourselves. So I said to God, you know what? I have no idea why, but I've got my sister's voice inside my head. And I know it doesn't belong there. I'm supposed to live my own life. I have to decide what I like to wear, what's good for me, what I like, not what my sister likes. And so I started speaking to God about this. So this is what it means to be self-aware. This is what it means to look at what's going on inside of your mind. So I said to God, you know what? I'm going to try to get to the root of this thing. So often we look at the fruit in our lives. But we have to go to the root of something. We have to see about where did it start. And then immediately a memory popped up in my head of when I was about 6 years old. And my sister was 4. And I was a tomboy growing up. But my sister always used to dress very beautifully. She loved Even at the age of 4, she would wear these high heels and this beautiful dress, and she would put makeup on, and she loved dressing up. But I was this tomboy. I always wore these jeans and a t-shirt, and I was always barefoot. I never wore makeup. I was like, this is stupid. I just want to have fun. I just want to climb trees and just do my own thing. So every Sunday, I would wear these jeans, but it came up to here. It was very old-fashioned. So I would always wear these jeans, and my sister would always dress beautifully. And I couldn't care less. I was very happy. But then one day, my sister came to me. So this is how a seed gets planted. My sister came up to me and she said to me, Vicki, why are you always wearing these jeans every Sunday to go to church? Can't you just dress up a little bit? Try to make an effort. So it was just a small thing that she said. But from that day on, I became very self-conscious about the way I dressed. And I actually threw those jeans away. I love those jeans. I'm still a little bit mad at my sister today because I had to get rid of the jeans. So it was just a small seed that she planted in my life. And it wasn't meant to hurt me. It wasn't meant to harm me. It was just her own opinion. So that seed actually grew and grew and grew because I watered it, and I just kept cultivating this seed. And it grew into this big tree. And now it was like this giant monster inside of my head. So every time when I would buy something, I had to think of my sister. Would my sister approve of this? So it's a very, very, very eenvoudige voorbeeld. But this is how we live our lives. Someone will tell us something, or we get this fear, or something will happen, and then we think, oh, but what if it's the truth about me? What if this is who I am? So what voices are speaking to you? Where did they come from? So the thing is, when you constantly feed yourself with negative voices, like even if you're on social media is a powerful way of speaking to us. So my question to you is, what are you feeding yourself with? Because that is what will come out of you, and that is what people will see about you. So the thing is, we all have this world living inside of us. We actually don't realize it, but we have this world living inside of us. When you live in an imaginary world, where you say certain negative things about yourself, you might just as well use that imaginary world to live in a happy world. Live an imaginary world where you are wild and out of control. So the thing is, you have this world, you create this world inside of you, so you can decide, I'm going to be powerful, I'm going to cultivate the right things in my life. So the thing is, every time when I go to the store, I say to myself, I break that voice. I break that voice right now in the name of Jesus. That voice does not belong to me. The voice of being negative and constantly worrying about what other people would think about how I look, that is not from God. So every time when that voice pops up, I have to break it down. Even when I'm speaking, when I'm speaking in front of you, I have to break that voice. I have to break that voice where it says to me, but Vicki, you're making a fool of yourself. The people are not listening to you. I have to break that voice. So I have a bit of a step-by-step thing. You know what? Actually, let's do that. I think let's do it in a very practical way. I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes right now. Okay. So now I want you to think, like while I was speaking right now, if you felt that something came up, I want you to ask God to reveal it to you. Like maybe there was a negative thing that popped up in your head. It could be a voice speaking to you. It could be a memory, something that you remembered from your past. So now I want you to think about that thing. And I want you to ask yourself, why do I do things the way that I do it? Why do I do it in a certain way? Where did this come from? What is the root of this thing? Okay, I want you to open your eyes. I want to thank you for being so brave. It's not easy to look inside. I think especially in the Afrikaans culture, we always try to, vir alles onder die mat vee. We're always thinking, I just want to put it aside, I'm not going to think about it, I need to go on with my life, I need to live above it. But sometimes, I don't know if you've seen the movie Shrek. Have you seen Shrek? And then he has this onion, and then he says, but he's like an onion. And, and the thing is, we are like an onion. Sometimes we have to peel layer by layer by layer to get to the root of something. And it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to do that. We have to be brave. We actually have to be brave because we don't like looking inside of ourselves because we're afraid of what we might find. We're often afraid of what we might find. So the thing is, every time when something negative pops up, or every time you feel a voice speaking to you, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Where did this come from? Is this necessary? Is it good for my life? And then the thing is, it's a process. So be patient with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight that you get to the root of something. It's a process. So you have to think about it. You have to pray about it. You have to ask God. It's hard. It's tough sometimes. And the third point is, do not go on social media. We love, like, when we're angry about something, or whenever we feel somebody has been rude to us, or whatever, we put it on social media. But that is not the healthy way to do it. It's not the healthiest place to actually put your feelings out there and to see what happens. It's not healthy. It's not mature. So the thing is, whenever you feel these negative things coming, what I want you to do is I want you to go and talk to someone about it. Instead of going on social media, because we live in a very disconnected society. We're not connected to each other anymore. So I want to challenge you. I want to encourage you. Whenever you feel something pops up, go and speak to someone about it. Go and tell that person, say to that person, but every time when I do this, something negative pops up in my mind, and I don't know where this is coming from, but I don't want this voice inside of me. So help me. Pray for me. So find someone that you can trust, someone that you can share your life with. It's very important. And then also another good thing to do is to write it out. I know not all of us love to write. I love writing. But sometimes it's good to write out the things that's happening inside of your head, because that is how you can see the lies coming up. That's how you can see, oh, so this is what I think about myself. This is what I do. Some people like at 11 at night, you're going to eat a chocolate. Some of us like to do that. But it's also not a very healthy thing to do. But sometimes there's something that triggers us. Something can trigger us. And very often it's because of fear or because of unforgiveness. Those two things are very powerful things. So sometimes when you do something and you know that it's self-destructive, it's not good for you, then usually the root of it has something to do with fear, or something to do with unforgiveness, not forgiving other people, not forgiving yourself. So the thing is, it's good to write these things out. Write down the things that you feel that shouldn't be in your life. And when you write it out, you can actually see, oh, that's the lie that I believe about myself. And what is the truth? The truth is usually the opposite of the lie. So if you feel that I want to eat a chocolate at 11 o'clock in the night, and it's because you have a big test tomorrow, then it's actually very obvious. You're stressed out. You think you're not going to make it. You're going to fail the test. So what's the opposite? God is saying to you, you can do this. You've got this. You learn for the test. You can do it. Don't fear. You don't have to fear. So that is the opposite of the lie. So when we start to feed ourselves with the truth, then we can actually start to radiate truth out. We can actually start to build other people up and build ourselves up. We're not breaking each other down anymore. Because we're working on what's going on inside of us. We're peeling the layer, we're peeling the onion, layer by layer, to get to the root of things. So every time when the lie comes back, just say the opposite. Very easy. And then also a great way to get to the truth is to read the Bible. The Bible is full of truth. So if you're uncertain about something, go read the Bible. The Bible is the truth. So what does the Bible say about you? Yes. So what I'm going to do now is I've got this demonstration. I was in America for 9 months. I was at the Bible school at Bethel Church. You know Bethel Music? They've got a Bible school, and I was there for 9 months, and it was amazing. And the first week of school, this woman, she did this demonstration, and I actually stole it from her. But I felt like this is so powerful, and I just want to share it with you guys because it brought so much breakthrough in my life. So, let me do this. So what I'm going to do, this is balsamic vinegar. I don't like it. I hate it. So I'm going to pour a little bit. I don't like the smell. Okay, so I'm just going to explain something. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the thing is, before we get born again, before we give our life to God, we all have a lot of junk in our lives. Sometimes it's because of bad choices that we made, or sometimes it's because of depression, or just bad stuff inside of us. So when we get born again, when we give our lives to God, we obviously think, okay, so now everything's just going to change overnight. But sometimes most of the time is not the case. Most of the time it's a process, because God is all about relationship. For Him, it's all about relationship. He wants that connection with us. So the thing is, just imagine if all the bad stuff in your life could just come out. And then overnight, you're radiant, you're bold, you're adored, you're virtuous, you're enough. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's a process. It's something that you have to work through with God. So I want you to imagine this is like the bad stuff in your life. And it's just sometimes it's just really terrible stuff. I mean, I had depression in high school because of the girls. And 2 times I wanted to commit suicide. And the thing is, I was a Christian already. I grew up in the church. My parents are pastors. So I knew about God. I knew about the word, but I didn't really have that connection with God. So I had this depression in high school, and I wanted to end my life. So there was a lot of bad things. There was a lot of turmoil happening inside of my heart. So I wanted to imagine that each one of us, before we get born again, we have this. We have stuff in our life that we just now we need to get rid of it. And so what happens is that I want you to imagine that this is the Holy Spirit, this is God, this is Jesus, all wrapped in one. And this is just God's presence. This is the relationship with God. So it's not religion. Religion kills, but it's that spiritual connection between you and God, and just working things through in your life. So I want you to imagine this is your life and this is God. And so let's say you get born again, and now you're like, okay, so now I want to start praying every day. So God comes, and then you're like, okay, so I still have some stuff that I have to deal with. it's a lot of stuff that I have to deal with. But then God just comes and He fills up our lives. And then the more we start to pray, the more we start to build a relationship with God. And we're like, wow, God is working through. Because the thing is, God stirs up things inside of us. He's always doing that. He's always stirring up things inside of us. That's how you know you're doing it right. If you feel, but I'm a perfect Christian, I have no problem, then something's wrong. Because we all have issues, we all have things that we have to work through. So the thing is, the more God comes into your life, He just pours into our lives. He pours into our lives, and the more He pours, the cleaner we get, the cleaner we get. And all the junk just comes out of our lives, and we're like, wow, but this is amazing, this is amazing. And the more God fills us up, the more cleaner we get. The cleaner we get. The more God fills us up, the cleaner we get. Woo! Okay. So then eventually you look like this. A clean glass of water. But it doesn't happen overnight. The radiancy doesn't happen overnight. It's a thing that you have to work through, getting rid of the lies, getting rid of the bad stuff, and then eventually you look like this. So this is what we all have to strive for. This is what we all can. We have that capacity. Because God said that we can be like Jesus. And Jesus was like this. He was full of God, full of life, full of light. So I just really want to encourage you not to feel discouraged. Because we all have something that we're going to talk about today. And if you feel like it's stirring up stuff inside of you, that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. God has a plan for your life. He has a purpose for your life. But we have to stir up these things inside of us to get to our destiny. Does it make sense? Okay, so now I want to do a quick PowerPoint. Sorry, so can we just... Oh, okay. Can you just go back to the first slide, please? Okay, I see you already saw all this, so we can just quickly go through everything. Can you just go back to the first slide? Okay, perfect. Okay, so the thing is, these are all just a little bit tips to help you see in your life where there's things that you need to work on. So the thing is, if you're a daughter of God, then that means you stand full in your identity with God. You have no lack, you have no needs. But when you're an orphan, you have doubts and insecurities, and you actually feel like things are just not working out your way. So these are just the difference between the two. Being an orphan and being a daughter of God. Does it make sense to you? So the thing is, we can be Christians, we can be born again. But often, we don't really know our identity in Christ Jesus. So often we go back to being an orphan, like living without a father. But the thing is, God wants to say to you today, He's your father. You're His daughter. That's who you are. So the thing is, if you see God as a master, if you see God as someone who's always correcting you and if you always see God as someone who's a master and He just wants to tell you what to do, then it's a sign that you actually have the orphan spirit. Because if you're a daughter of God, you will see God as a loving father. That's how you will see Him. As a loving father, someone who loves you, cares for you, cherishes you. That is the identity of a daughter. And then dependency, if you're an orphan, then you just want to be independent and self-reliant all the time. You don't need anybody. You're going to make it on your own in this world. That is the orphan spirit. But if you're a daughter of God, then you acknowledge your needs. You say, I have needs. I need people around me. I need people to help me. That is the true identity of a daughter of God. It shows that the right voice is speaking to you. But if you say, I can be independent, I don't need anybody, then it's actually the lie speaking to you. Because then it makes you an orphan. Does it make sense? Okay, next slide. So security. the orphan can feel insecure and they can lack peace. They can often feel about, I don't know who I am. I don't know if I'm good enough. You feel insecure about yourself. Then it's obvious that a lie is speaking to you. But if you're a daughter of God and you're listening to the truth about what God says about you, then you have rest and peace in who you are as a person. Does it make sense? Okay. So need for approval. The orphan will strive for praise and acceptance of man. That is what the orphan will do. They will strive for acceptance. They will always feel that people need to validate them, that people need to tell them who they are. But if you're a daughter of God, then you're totally accepted by God's love. And the funny thing is, for a long time, when I was Miss Deaf South Africa, and I was on the cover of magazines, and I did TV interviews and everything, I always felt that I needed people to approve me and people to accept me for who I am. But that was actually the orphan spirit. I actually wanted people to tell me that I was good enough. Because in high school, I didn't feel good enough. Because of what those girls did to me, it was a lie that was planted inside of my head. So for a long time, I did things out of striving, out of trying to prove myself. And it just breaks you down. It absolutely breaks you down. I'm a testimony of that. But when you're a daughter of God, when you're firmly established in God, then you know you're totally accepted by God's love. So even if you make mistakes, even if you do something wrong, you know that God still loves you. And so you don't do things for love, but you work from a place of love. You know, I am loved, so then you work from that place of love. That is that's the radiance that comes out of you. Okay, next slide. Self-image. So if you're an orphan, then you actually reject yourself. So that girl in high school, when she stood in front of the mirror with me, she was actually rejecting herself. She was breaking herself down. But if you're a daughter of God, then you're positive and affirmed because you know that you have such value to God. Okay, next slide. Source of comfort. So this is a very big one. When you're an orphan, you seek comfort in counterfeit affections. Addiction, compulsion, escapism, busyness, hyper-religious activities. Oh, there's a spelling mistake there. So often when you're an orphan, you seek comfort in the wrong things. And for a while, it will bring you comfort, but you always have to go back for more. It's never enough. But when you're a daughter of God, every time you're looking for comfort, you seek time of quietness and solitude to rest in the Father's presence and love. So what I do every time when I feel that I need to be comforted, I don't go and pray out loud or put music on or whatever. All I do is I go to my room, I close the door, it's quiet, it's peaceful, and then I just hold out my hand and I say to God, God, come and comfort me. Holy Spirit, comfort me. And then I can actually feel, wow, this comfort is coming over me. And it's such a beautiful thing, but it's all a relationship. It's all a relationship. You have to spend time with God to get to know Him and for Him to get to know you. He knows you, but He still wants that relationship with you. Okay, next one. So when you're an orphan, there's always competition. There's always competition. There's always comparing yourself to other people. There's jealousy towards others' success and position. So a great way to see if you're an orphan when it comes to peer relationships is if someone else has a lot of success. And immediately you feel like, but why is she getting that, but I'm not getting it? What's wrong with me? And you feel that you don't want to celebrate that person's success. So obviously there's a lie speaking to you. This lie of you're not enough, you're not good enough, that a lie speaking to you. But when you're a daughter, you have humility and unity among the people that amongst you. So you have unity as you value others and are able to rejoice in their blessings and success. So if you are able to rejoice with other people, then it's a good sign that you're a very healthy daughter of God. You're firmly established in your identity with God. Okay, next slide. Okay, so your view of authority, if you're an orphan, then you see authority as a source of pain. You are distrustful toward others, toward them, and you lack a heart you lack a heart attitude of submission. So, if you see authority as something to avoid and something to run away from, then it's a good sign that you don't feel safe enough to know that when people correct you, it's for your own good. But when you're a daughter, you're still respectful and honoring. So the thing is, some people have parents where the dad is very abusive or the mom is abusive, and then you become very distrustful toward them and you don't want to listen to them. And the thing is, there is a fine line. But you can always still respect them and still honor them, even though you don't agree with what they are saying or what they are doing. Always the thing about honoring other people, even though they have faults. Okay, next slide. Okay, so your expression of love. When you're an orphan, you're very guarded and conditional. It's based upon others' performance as you seek to get your own needs met. So it can sometimes be selfish. It can be, okay, so we're in a relationship now, but what can I get from this? What can you give to me? But when you're a daughter of God, you're open, patient, and affectionate as you lay down your life and your agenda in order to meet the needs of others. Again, there's boundaries that need to be set. But it's very important to say, but I'm just going to love people because God loves me. So when you're established in your identity, it just flows. It just flows. God's love just comes and it just flows through you. Okay, next slide. Okay, so when you're an orphan, your sense of God's presence is that it's very distant and conditional. So conditional means full of rules. If you feel that God is full of rules, then it's obvious that there's some lies speaking to you. But when you're a daughter, you have a close and intimate relationship with God. And your condition, if you're an orphan, it's bondage. You feel that you're a slave. You feel that you can't get out of this thing. But when you're a daughter of God, there's liberty. And I just want to read the Bible verse before we go to the last slide. The Bible verse is 2 Corinthians 3, verse 17. Now the Lord is the Spirit. And when the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. It's so important to realize that. Because the thing is, God is freedom, creativity. There's no boundaries, there's no box. So the moment you feel you're put in a box, or the moment you feel that God is full of rules, then it's obvious that the wrong voice is speaking to you. Because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is the freedom to be yourself. There is freedom to love other people, to love yourself. Okay, last slide. So, when you're an orphan, you feel that you have to fight for what you can get. You feel I constantly have to fight for what I want. That is the mind of an orphan. But when you're a daughter of God, it releases your inheritance. So when you're a daughter of God, you know you don't have to fight for anything. It's just going to happen. God is going to bless you. God is going to give you whatever you want. Okay. So I just want to say, so with being radiant, it all happened inside of you. The thing that's inside of you comes outside of you. So now I want you to place your hand on your heart. And I want you to repeat after me. We're going to do some declarations, okay? So say to yourself, I give you permission to be yourself.
I give you permission to be yourself.
I give you permission to be patient.
I give you permission to be patient.
I give you permission to be radiant.
I give you permission to be radiant.
I give you permission to fight for love.
I give you permission to fight for love.
You can do this.
You can do this.
You've got what it takes.
You've got what it takes.
You are brave.
You are brave.
You are bold. You are radiant. You're adored. You're virtuous. And you are enough. Say it again, you're enough. Amen. So I just want to bless you with that. I want you to challenge yourself to start thinking about the things that's going on inside of your mind, okay? You can do it because I did it. And it's been amazing. That's why I can testify today. The thing that's inside of me is coming out, but it's still a process. It's always a process. But for all of us to get there is worth it. To be filled with the Holy Spirit, to be filled with love. That is what we all want. Okay?